Right, Pepsi Man wanted an updated starting tips video, so here it is. I'll just run through it just for the benefit of people who are going to be playing the game at launch for the Xbox. Now, I don't know how much different the Xbox will be. I think the game's pretty similar. I mean, the HUDs and that are a bit different. The things like credits and that they use for certain things might be different. Small subtle things probably. So you can't take everything literal, as I say. So anyway, when you start out, you're going to be starting here in the provinces, and you'll be starting here. So basically what you've got to do is you're going to start on this little track here, and you'll come to this, to this, to this, and you just work your way around doing all these different things. Now, if it's the same as it was, like I say, some things may be different, and they may have changed things. They've got a habit of doing that. But when you do the first few missions, you'll start off doing a single player thing. Then you're going to have to do, I think it's about the first 4 missions solo. Again, they might have changed it, I don't know. But originally you'd have to do about 4 missions or so solo before you can group with your friends. So don't start asking thousands of questions on the chat or whatever about how can you group your friends. You've got to get through about 3 or 4 of these before you can group. Once you get past the 4th one or whatever it is, then you can go into group and play along with your friends, and then you can do the whole lot with your friends through all this stuff. Now, you'll get Paladin, I think, right from the start anyway, but just pick a support, a tank, and a damage dealer. Pick which ones you prefer. Don't bother trying to unlock them all. I mean, you'll pass them. As you go, you're going to pass like the Berserker, and then you'll pass the Archer. Just pick ones you like or you think are going to be good. If you start picking them all, you're just going to waste your resources or whatever it is that you're using to unlock those classes. And if you spread yourself throughout lots of classes instead of concentrating on 1 or 2 or 3, you're not going to be, it's going to be a little bit more complicated for you. It's better to learn a few classes to start with, and then later on expand, try different classes later on when you're a lot stronger and that kind of thing. Trying to jump into all the classes at the beginning, you're just going to get yourself in a mess, and you won't be very good at all the classes because you'll be trying to learn them all, and you're just going to waste resources which you can use to actually upgrade yourself and get through this whole map a lot faster than picking lots of classes. So, I mean, that's what I would do. It's up to you. You can go and do all the classes if you like. It's entirely up to you. But if you want to get through this quicker and get ranked up quicker, then don't try and spread yourself too thinly amongst all the classes. Right, you're going to come through here. These are just standard missions that you do. They're not too bad at all. These things are this is a 10-man dungeon, and this will be a lot harder. You need 10 people. I don't know how hard they are now starting out. These things right back at the beginning, they used to be very hard. You used to have to have the 10 people, and used to have a witch, a berserker, an elk, a light binder, that kind of thing. Now I think you just pretty much go in whatever you like and just run through it. Like I said, they simplified it so it's not so complicated anymore. It's just go through it. These will unlock. You'll need to do certain things. It'll tell you on the side of your, up here on the right of the screen as you're doing stuff. In fact, you can see here on the right there. Just get rid of those. Yeah, it'll tell you what you need to do. So just follow those rules. So back here. Now this one up here, Hepsilon. This one will be quite important for you if you're starting out, because you'll see the little boxes there at the bottom of the screen or top of the screen. There's a weapon and an artifact, and this will be your first blue weapon basically. You'll get green ones in there as well, but it'll be green, blue, and you'll pick up pink ones later, or purple. So when you can do that mission, you'll need to do it with 5 people when you start out, of course. Yeah, try and get through that to get some weapons. The thing is with that mission as well, if you kill 1 or 2 bosses in it, you don't have to actually complete the whole thing. You'll still get some decent gear as you're going. So even if you fail it, you can still get in there, get a good weapon and get out again. So when you're starting out, it's pretty useful. But if you can group up with people for that one, like I say, Epsilon, just get yourself some weapons to start with. And then just basically proceed through this. You'll have to go right through this until you reach a certain point. I don't know what that point is anymore, but I'm sure you'll find out when you will get to your God mode, which is basically following the storyline. So you need to follow the storyline, otherwise you won't get to your God mode. Like I say, after about the first 4 missions, you can group with your friends and you can do the storyline together. I say you can do the storyline together. You can do the maps, whether you can actually do individual. When you actually got to fight to get your God mode, you'll have to do that solo as well. So, but again, I don't know how much they've changed it. So, anyway, follow that. That'll get you going. Right, this is your bag. This is your slots. You'll have to pay to open these slots. You get a bunch free anyway, plenty. This is just if you just like collecting things. Now, you'll see these are bits and bobs you pick up. These are extra weapons. This will be from Epsilon. And you got premium. Now, if you get a premium, try to use your premiums when you're farming credits or when you're doing a lot that involves collecting credits, because quite often places you'll go, it'll double your credits. So, you know, if you do get a premium and you're not already a premium member, you're just picking these up in events, you will get 1 or 2, I think, when you first start anyway. They'll give you 1 or 2. So, like I say, save those for when you're doing a lot with credits or trying to collect credits, because you literally will double your credits. That's what they do for you. They'll also give you free transportation around, but to be honest, it doesn't cost that much to worry about that. This is your valuables section. This is where you get all your stuff is stored, what you have. Rare crystallite, you'll find these in chests around the worlds, the maps. You collect it, you can get some costumes with it in the shop. Victor's medals we'll get to, that will basically raise up your might and stuff. We'll come back to that in a minute. Credits we talked about. You'll collect credits everywhere pretty much. Argents, you get these through various things when you do daily missions sometimes. Sometimes from the temples. Sometimes they just give you a few free ones. You get it from events, or you can buy them with real cash. So it's entirely up to you what you do with those. Or when you get those, I wouldn't waste these things on mounts, not unless you're throwing money at the game. Don't care. I'd keep these for like use them in events and things to sort of try and get better gear and stuff that way. Using them in the shop and that, it's very expensive. But like I say, it's entirely up to you what you want to do with those. And resources. Okay, knowledge of enemies. It's something else we'll come back to along with the Victor's medals. This will basically increase your might and stuff in one of the towers, but we'll get to that. Stimulants. Save these stimulants for when you do daily missions, daily quests, missions. You get daily directives here, which you'll see they're here. And if you do a daily directive, which is a bunch of missions, you'll get all sorts of goodies like extra 500 followers, 200 Victor's medals and divine deeds. This is around about 160,000 for me, at least anyway. And this, which is sparks to unlock classes and things. So you'll have some other ones here as well. If you're just starting out, you'll have ones which are like increasing your tower of knowledge and that, which is really useful. So I'd advise you do your daily stuff if you can. So keep these stims, because you can actually use these stims when you're doing the quests, like here. You'll see here it says skip the quest. So if you get ones you can't do because you're not strong enough, you better skip them. If you can't, unless you can do it with a group, but if you can't find a group to do it, then you're going to be stuck. You won't be able to do your dailies if you get hard ones. And some of the ones that you're going to find difficult to get into are going to be well, I say difficult to get into. You might be alright if when it launches, because everybody will be playing the PvP ones as well. Quite often the PvP on the PC now can be very hard to get into. But like I say, save your stims for that. Don't waste them on the. You can waste them on. This is an event. You can accelerate things on them, but don't do that. Just accelerate with cash if you can, because that's a waste, and they cost you 250 Argents, I think, to buy one from the shop. So just keep collecting them and use them to clear missions. Right, let's go back to the bag. Right, Divine Deeds, you'll get those when you do invasion stuff, and it basically you use them to upgrade your god. You open up Divine Deeds sections, which makes certain things strong when they're on your god, and you'll start off with, have a quick look there, orbit. This is your Divine Deed area. Now basically it's to upgrade these nodes here. You'll need to unlock first with an avatar trophy, which you will pick up from fighting avatars. Once you kill an avatar, you'll get them there. Let me just check. The only one I've got for I haven't actually got any for this god. I haven't actually fought any avatars for this, because like I said, this isn't the main one I use. This is one that I was just seeing how quickly we could start off and get up the prestige in that. It's more of an experiment one. This one you'll buy a book. I think this is the one you buy a book. You buy a book, and it basically you just use it to upgrade these things, which gives you longer divine mode and all that kind of good stuff, and strengthens your ultimates and that kind of thing. Stylist service coupon, you get the odd one of these. This is to change your appearance, because once you've done your appearance, apart from changing your clothing, you can't actually physically change your appearance without paying for it or having a coupon. So you can get a coupon. I think you'll get given one when you do something right at the beginning sometime. I can't remember what it is you need to do, but you will get one. I think my other character's got about 3 of them. So just use that if you want to change your looks. Avatars artifact, that's what we just said, you'll get that from killing avatars. Illyrium 9. Illyrium 9 you will collect in a place called Thea, and it basically gives you an extra, I'll show you, say that one. You'll upgrade these by killing the enemy using this character. On the PC anyway, you might, I don't know how it will work on the others, whether you've got to use any credits for anything. But when you get to this one, you're going to need Illyrium. No, that's a bad example actually, that one. Let me just... Yeah, it's because I haven't completed them, that's why. But basically it gives you that final one. You're going to need Illyrium to unlock it. And then you'll get like a special ability or power or just extra strength. Let me... I don't know where I'm going at the moment. Here we go. Get back in here. And Sparks of Transformation on the PC, this unlocks... Well, it unlocks the Revenant. I know that. Whether it unlocks all the other classes, I don't know. Like I say, this was quite a new thing that was added, so... I don't know. But I do know you've got to collect 35,000 of these to be able to unlock the Revenant on the PC, so... Maybe they're using them on your classes. Maybe it's just for the Revenant. You will find out when you play the game. Timers. Your daily directives. You don't have to do them every day. You can leave them and they will stack up to 7. But they will only stack up to 7. So if you stack up any more, you will lose the daily directives for that point. So try and keep the number under 7. If you're starting out, and like I say, this gives you lots of stuff which will upgrade you pretty damn quick. And this is just events. This is just stuff you collect in events, like the Halloween one, to get free costumes and hats and different things, basically. Now your credits, when you collect credits, again, it all depends on how they're working it for the Xbox. When you collect credits, your best bet with credits is what I've been doing. I mean, you don't have to do this. What I do with them is I save all my credits and I basically wait till an event which comes here, and then I use them to speed this up. Now in an event you're going to get these come up. You really want to get these premium. When you first start out doing events, you should be able to get to 300 odd here. These ones, they change, they vary from different events what you get. Here it's premiums and some credits and knowledge, and these are like weapon upgrades for the big weapons. So if I was you, I would save all your credits you can for this, because you get a lot of stuff in here. You'll get victor's medals, you'll get argents, you'll get all sorts. Sometimes you get like 1 million credits. It varies, but I would just try and get this up. And if I was starting out, I'd probably aim to get about, well, try and get to the stims there. I wouldn't bother trying to push yourself up there. It costs millions to get up there. So when you first start, try and aim to get to there. Now you can actually buy argents and fast forward with argents. You can't see them at the moment, but you can actually fast forward with argents if you want to pay. But seriously, if you pay for these events, it'll cost you a fortune, because you're talking millions of credits to get clear of here. So again, be warned. But like I say, when you're starting out, you're probably aiming to get about halfway. So try and get the premiums, because like I say, when you get those premiums in a lot of missions, it'll double the amount of credits you get when you do the missions. So well worth getting if you're not already buying premium. Right, adepts. We'll cover adepts quickly, but you won't have to deal with them right from the start. As you get further into the game, you'll pick up adepts. Basically, you'll get adepts. They'll start off as green ones, and you'll equip them with these things, relics, to make them gather more stuff. This basically is what gathers your faith to be able to turn into God mode. So you need to send them out on missions. Like this one has come back, always waiting. So you see, this is what relics they've got, and you just send them, and you just leave them, and they take sort of 24 hours or something like that, or longer. If you've got better adepts, it takes a lot longer, and they'll come back with stuff. And as you can see, these are collecting this. This one's finished, so I could finish, well, I can just finish it, and then it gives me that stuff, which is credits, faith, and all the rest of it. Now you've got some here, like this one has, well, one we sent out hasn't finished. Some won't be finished. They're all finished, of course. That one hasn't finished. Now you can cancel the journey. You'll still get this, but you're far better to leave it, because when you get near the end, usually this will jump up. If you cancel too early, you're missing out a lot of faith for the amount of time. So unless you really need that faith for the God mode, don't cancel them. But like I say, you won't come across this till a bit further on in the game anyway. Right, I've jumped over to this section. Now, we talked about Victor's medals before, and knowledge of enemies you'll pick up all the time. Knowledge of enemies is for this one here. Basically, you go in here, you hit that button when you've got 3,000 or whatever it is for you, and it upgrades this. Each time this completes, it gives you might, and might is very important. It'll make you strong. And going back, this is the cathedral. Now this one, I don't really use this one. It could be useful when you start out. You click this and it'll give you just random stuff, like an extra boost for say the paladin, or say the kinetic, or whatever. It'll give you extra 5% damage, something like that, but it's very random and it costs a lot. Personally, I just save my credits now. I don't really use this. It'll give you followers. It kind of upgrades you, gives you might and that, but I mean, when you first start out, it's probably useful to do this. It probably doesn't. It might not even cost as much when you start out. Probably not. So it's probably worth doing when you're starting out. But as you get further into the game, it kind of, I don't really use it much, to be honest. That's just your Temple of Deeds. They've changed this now, so this is your junior god. This is when you start. This is the first one you'll get, and you'll need deeds. Deeds. How are they called? They are called Divine Deeds. There you go. Yeah, you'll collect these, so you'll need those to upgrade this. Once you've done this, like so, they've moved things around. I don't know if it'll be the same on your version, but then you'll go to there. That one's there, you see. No, then it's that one. When you get the book, you have to buy a book from the shop for this, and then you'll do these ones. Once you've got trophies, you can start unlocking all these ones, which makes your god strong. But again, you won't be at that stage right at the beginning. This here, this is invasions for each of the. You've got Gorgonides, Demons, Mechanoids, Phytonides, Reapers of Death, and Oceanads. This basically just makes you stronger against those particular enemies. You can see here, you'll go through them and get stronger, and you'll upgrade them as the invasions come round. And this one is the one. This is an important one. This one will get your might up quite a lot. What you're looking for is under here. You'll see the might. It says plus 100, might 100, 300. Depending, you get a lot more. The further you get up here, you'll get a lot more. Like here, it's 10,000. So 10,000 on section 4, and on section 1 to 2, you're only talking just under 1,000. So it's quite a jump. But it will cost, and it costs, like you'll see this one, that's going to cost me 20,000 of these Victor's medals. Now you want to upgrade those. There's a lot of other things here like emitters, and this is stuff you don't really need. A lot of this stuff, if you want it you can get it, just read about it, but to be honest, try and do the cathedrals, the tower and the bastions. You upgrade those, they'll give you big amounts of might. Now the bastions used to give the most might, and you see it here, bastions. So I'd always go with the bastions first, but I don't know how they've changed all this around. It looks different. Whether they've changed the numbers, the amount you get, I don't know. But bastions is always a good one to get you upgraded quickly, or your might up fast. You see here, this is where your might is up here. Now we're in a zone at the moment where everybody's might's the same. And this is normally, I think, 338,000. And although this is only 10 million away from my other character, the other character's a lot more. It's like, I don't know what it is, 5.5 million or something. 500,000, 550,000 or something, I can't remember. But it's a lot more than this character, because this character I got the prestige up really fast, but the might sort of lagged behind. And these things you'll pick up doing the dungeon stuff, the 5-man, the 10-man and that, you'll pick up all of these. And the same with these things as well. You'll find them in the world as well to start with, but the really good stuff you're going to find in the 5 and 10-mans. 3-man even, I think. And this place here, this is an invasion. Each invasion there will be a place. Go to Alien, Adventure. That one, that's all the invasion stuff. You'll come across all this. You'll be doing it in groups to start with. And it's this one here. There will be one, it'll be a region. And if you go to this region, if you can get into this region, I don't know what the 61 prestige by the looks of it. But once you get to 61 prestige, it'll take a little while. It shouldn't take you that long. You'll end up in here, and when you're in here, there are bosses appear, and when the bosses appear and you kill them, you get these things, and we're going to open these and see what we get. So we just got one of those, 290, and we just got that, which is 351. We go back to my character. Hold on. Which one? Oh, it's the necklace thing. 351, and that one is 350. So that one's better, but you get some seriously good gear in here. So you want to come in here eventually, and once you've got access to this place, come in here, fight the bosses. You'll see on the top right there the stuff that needs to be done in between. There's one that comes up where you have to destroy 3, well, they're like giant balls basically. You need to destroy those, and then you'll get 3 bosses will come up, and those bosses will give you loads of those things which give you loads of decent gear. And I always find they give the best gear. Some of these odd bosses that turn up aren't as strong, and they don't give you quite as much good gear. So, but that's something a lot later on in the game. You'll come to that. But this place, once you get to it, it's in the invasion section. Come in and get yourself some decent gear when you can. Right, we'll take a quick look at mounts. There we go. There's mounts. Now you get mounts all sorts of different ways. You'll get probably like a temporary license for this one to start with. You can buy them in the shop. You can buy them in the real world for real money, with real money as well. You will get them in some of these events. And I believe you can get one in a mission that you'll do at some point as well. So when you first start out, you won't have the mount probably, apart from that temporary license thing. But you will pick mounts up, and you can pick mounts up. I've never bought a mount, and with this character, which was the one I shot through quickly, that was the temporary one, I think. Yeah, you can get that one, I think. I think it's that one I've got. And I've got that one as well. That one I picked up on an event, I think it was. You can see it there. And it does neat stuff like glides. So yeah, I mean, like I said, this character's never bought any mounts with any real cash or anything like that, so you can get mounts. You don't have to buy them. And when you first start out, you probably won't really need the mount anyway right at the start, because you're going to be just running through killing everything in your way. Once you've done certain things, you will want to skip them. That's when you'll need the mount, or when you start grouping to get back to your friends if you die, that kind of thing. This is your shop. That's your monthly deal. That's resources. I've only ever bought construction replicator, which is to do with pantheons, and I've bought a few stims once, but that's pretty much all I've ever bought in there. That's the event that's running at the moment, the Halloween one, so you collect these candies and you can get all this stuff. In fact, when the Christmas event comes up, here's a good tip for you. If it's the same as it was last Christmas, when you do the Christmas event, I believe you can get a thing called a gull. It's like a big deer. That's a mount, and you can get that in the Christmas event, so keep your eyes open for that, because Christmas ain't that far away. And you got all this stuff if you use this. I personally don't really use much of this, the health maybe, but everything else I don't really use, and that'll revive people, so you need a few of those, but you will pick them up anyway. And that's transport you can buy. Costumes you can spend money, credits should I say. You can spend argents, which you can buy with real money, and you can get these, which you will find these gems in chests around the world. This is invasion stuff. You're going to need that book. When you're going to do your god mode thing, you need to get that. And you probably need about 8,000 Victor's medals it used to be. So save up for that, because you will need it if you want to get your god, extend the time of your god mode and that. Special offers, okay. So that's your shop. Right, and that one there is if you want to set up a Pantheon. You can create a Pantheon. It will cost you 50,000 credits, and you need to get at least 2 players in 7 days. It used to be half a dozen players, I think. I think they've reduced that. Either that, or join a Pantheon. If you're starting out, new, get into a Pantheon or start your own Pantheon, but the Pantheon will have benefits. It'll give you like extra boosts, make you a bit stronger, this kind of thing, depending on your Pantheon. And when you're in a Pantheon, it's quite easy to find people in that Pantheon that will help you when you go on to do your daily missions and stuff like that. People will be in there asking if anybody wants any help, if you're in a good Pantheon, of course. So get yourself into a Pantheon or get yourself set up, because I know it's obviously going to be all new, so the sooner you get a Pantheon set up, the more members you can get in, and makes your life a lot easier if you're in a Pantheon. This character, obviously, like I say, I played this character solo all the way. The other character, my first character, that was in a Pantheon for quite a long time, and it's much easier to, when you're in a Pantheon, to sort of get people to jump into missions and go and do the avatars and that kind of thing. If you jump in with randoms all the time, if a lot of them don't know what they're doing or you're not organised, it can get really messy, and it can be very frustrating as well, especially with avatars, because avatars can take hours to do. And if you're going to do an avatar, it could take you hours, and if you've got randoms who are all over the place and not working as a team, it'll just literally take you all day. So bit of advice there: get yourself into a Pantheon if you're starting out. And that kind of covers everything, I think. I mean, in the end, you just got to play it the way you feel fit. But like I say, as far as your resourcing, when you start out, just with your credits and that, try and save them up for events and things. It'll help. Save these stims to be able to skip daily missions. And don't waste your Argents on shop stuff if you can help it. If you're buying Argents, it's not going to matter to you. And like I say, get these quests done. The most important one are the daily directives, because like I say, once you do one of those, it'll give you loads of stuff here, plus it'll give you more than what you see I get, purely because you're new. The things that I don't need anymore aren't here anymore, obviously the upgrades, because they stop after a certain level. So and that's just story section when you're doing the stories. And when you complete this, you'll get like this costume, you'll get, this is where you'll get a companion. Actually, we didn't do companions, but you'll get a companion. I think you get one right from the start. I thought there was more than this, but maybe not. We just go to star room. Yeah, companions are here, so you start off with one like that, I think, and then you'll pick these up doing various things. Distortions, you won't be doing those to start with. When you do them, they're tough. You're going to need a lot of people, and people who know what they're doing, basically. You'll get gear in there. Now, I have a problem with distortions, and that is I just don't bother doing them anymore. The reason I stopped doing them is because every time I've done a distortion, I've never had any gear that's been worth having. It's always been a lot worse than what I've got, and I don't need divine deeds. I mean, this character, yeah, but the other character, I've got like over 100,000 divine deeds in the other character, and I mean, I've got a couple of things I still need to open, but seriously, whenever I've been in here, and I mean, we used to do these in the original version, and they were great, but then they mucked around with them, and I just haven't done them since. I mean, I've done them a couple of times since then, and it's just, I just find them just a grind, basically. When we used to do them, we used to be working as a team. I know you still do have to work as a team to a certain extent, but I just find them so grindy now, I just can't be bothered with them. For what you get out of them, or what I've had out of them, I'm just not going to bother. So, but it's something for you to try. You know, you're going to try them, especially if you haven't done all these things before. You know, it's all interesting stuff to do. When you've done a lot of it, you'll sort of start deciding what you don't want to do and what you do want to do. And there's many ways you can play this. You can play solo, you can play group, you can play it how you want. You can do all the avatars, distortions, or you can just stick to your daily missions and doing regions and that. So it's entirely up to you how you want to play it. But anyway, I think I'm going to leave it there for now because this is going on far too long, and hopefully that is at least some help.